They're going to attack our identity. And there are people out there that will attack your identity because they know if they can destroy your identity, they can absolutely destroy you from being a competitor of theirs. Don't let people attack your identity. More importantly, don't let yourself attack your identity. And when I speak to you, I speak to myself as well. There's limiting beliefs and there's liberating beliefs. Mistakes should be avoided and hidden. That's a limiting belief. Mistakes are how I learn better and I can get a return on my mistakes. That's a liberating way of thinking. Oh, I can't find the right people to do the job. I hear that a lot. Well, that's a limiting belief. I know specifically what I'm looking for and I'm going to go after it. And it may take me a few to find it, yet I will find it. That's a liberating belief. So let's get into some of these. Kelly, some of the people actually reached out and said, hey, I have this limiting belief. So let's go to some of those. Or if you're willing to raise your hand, now's the time to let us help you with that. And it's not about having faith, folks, because belief and faith are different. I want you to think about that. A belief and faith are different. So, let go.
I don't know if you called on me. I broke up. Good morning. So with me, I think my limiting beliefs come from comparison, yet not external, maybe external, yet more like internal, like with my past self, my younger self, like you missed your window, it's too late, or you can't pivot now, or just kind of feeling like that window of opportunity closed. And so oftentimes when I struggle, it's from a perspective of rebuilding again, and if so, what does that even look like?
Now, first of all, I want to really commend you for stepping forward because a lot of people, our brain wants us to look good and be right. Doesn't want us to talk about these limiting things of us or these things, the mistakes that we've made. You'll see that with a lot of people. They just talk about all their successes. I actually feel like I teach more when I talk about my failures and my mistakes. And so first of all, I do not know how old you are, and I don't need to know how old you are. I just know that you're much younger than me. And, I'm pretty much starting over myself. So I understand when you're starting over, all those things can come to your mind. Like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And then we start comparing ourselves. That is the one thing that I think younger people do a lot, especially with Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, all that stuff. It has you comparing. Are my eyelashes long enough? Or is my makeup right? Or do I have on the right clothes? Am I doing this right? And they're always after this perfectionism that never comes about, because most of the things on Facebook from way back have been done with photography, that they stretch the lady's neck, they make her cheeks go in, they bring her cheekbones up, they make her eyes bigger, her eyebrows look perfect. I mean, it's all trickery. Yet, I love the phrase that Tony says, when you're comparing yourself to others, you're comparing your insides to their outside. We don't know what they're going through. We don't know what mask they have on. And I love that commercial. It's the lady that has a little smiley face in front of her, and yet inside she's really hurting. Have you ever thought about that? That maybe the people that literally act the best are hurting the worst? We don't know that. I think everybody hurts a little bit in some way, and everybody has greatness inside of them. So Chase, I know one thing about you. You're very good at finding the good in other people. Would you agree with me?
Yes.
I know that about you. And yet, why is it, folks, that we sometimes won't find the good in ourselves? And so I'd like for you, I don't know how many of you know Chase other than on this call, put in the chat something that you admire about Chase. I I just want to do this for just a moment. These are our beliefs about you. And they put those chat, and we're going to take just a moment, and then we're going to read those things because, see, she shows up. She's brave. She's authentic. She's bold. This present. She's brave. She's bold. She's the brightest in the room. As I say those things, what happens inside of you?
I feel really good. Thank you.
Well, you feel really good, yet do you take them in and believe them?
Yes.
I love that she always asks questions and is learning. She doesn't stop. She always is willing to speak up and shows her authentic self. She's my hero. I admire Chase's boldness and vulnerability to ask great questions. She's always looking to stretch. They're going so fast I can't read them all. Neat and ready to move forward.
Diana, she has an abundant mindset.
Mindset. Yes, she's got a great mindset. Thank you for telling me that. I'm looking at them all, and they're coming in so fast, Chase. I trust you're taking this in. So what I would love for you to do is literally just think about this as I read these, and then I know I'm going to tell you the words, and yet I know how the brain works. Trust me on this. After I read some of these, I just want you to say, thank you, I received them. Will you do that for me?
Yes.
Okay. She asks questions others are not willing to or afraid to ask. She's resilient, professional, talented, successful. She reminds me of the bold exercise with the paper on the back. She's consistent. She's abundant in mindset. I admire how she seeks clarity instead of quietly wondering.
Thank you. I received that. Thank you. I received that.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
I think sometimes, here's what I'm going to recommend to everyone, because I know people are hurting out there right now. People are frightened of money situations. People are frightened of, am I going to get a deal tomorrow? People are frightened of family situations. There's lots of things happening in this world. And because of that, we need each other now more than I think we have ever needed each other before. And we need each other to speak goodness into us, to believe things about us. Because, see, people grow into the conversations we create around them. Yet we create conversations in our own mind that we should not be creating. So I'm going to challenge everyone on this call. Put it in the chat that if you want somebody to call you, put your phone number in there, and let's get this thing going to where you would call and they would put their phone on okay, you're going to call, they're going to answer, you're going to say, I'm ready to do the exercise. And they hang up, you call back, and it goes to voicemail. And then all you do once that voicemail hits is you say, whatever it is, you are fantastic, you are consistent, you have an abundant mindset, I admire you, you are someone that asks great questions, you are. Because, see, our mind will believe other people before it will believe ourselves. We need other people to speak into us. And Chase, you can borrow our belief until you find it yourself, because we need to do that in each other. And like I said, belief and faith are separate. We need to get the belief first, and then we can have the faith that follows. And so let's go. Tony, you got something for us here.
Yeah, I just want to say, Chase, I was in a business for 14 years before I figured it out. I was, and when I first got into real estate in 1975, my first year, I don't think I sold anything. I can't remember that far back. But it was until 1990 when I just started, I kept doing what you're doing, and that's learning and learning. And finally, I found a system that worked, and my income went from, 100,000 a year to $1 million in 4 years. I just kept searching for the system that worked for me. And so it was basically touching a database 35 times in 1990 when nobody was doing that. So take what you're learning, put it into a system, and then dedicate the system. Back in those days, we had nothing to do except mail. There was no other mail, phone, or door knock. So I came up with an idea, went to a guy, said, hold me accountable to mailing twice a month. I don't care what it costs. I don't care what I have to do. I'm doing this. And within a year, the next year, my business doubled. So get to it, find something that works, and absolutely commit to it. Never miss a day. We never missed a week. We never missed whatever. And it made everything work. So I was in the business before I figured it out, 15 years before I figured it out. Diana figured it out in her first year.
No, well, you know what, Tony? I love that you say that because a lot of people think the 104 homes are here yet. Since I was 5 years old, my dad had taught me how to sell. You think about it. How many of you could put your kids in a little red wagon and have them go, "Ooh, I'm so excited to go out with you again today, Mom"? You don't think that there were problems? You don't think that there was a lot of crap to go through? People go, "Oh, that sounds so cool. Put your kids in a little red wagon and go door to door. Oh my goodness, you're just singing all the way." No, sometimes they were crying all the way. I mean, it was not easy. And life is simple. It is not easy. It's simple to put your kids in a red wagon and go door to door. It is not easy to do it. Yet, are you willing to do the things that are not easy? Because, see, there is a statement that we had on our refrigerator, and then I'll get with you real quick. It says, "I will be willing to do for the next 5 years what no one else is willing to do. So after that, I can do what no one else can do." I mean, I look at the countries I've been able to fly to, and Argentina is coming up here pretty quick. I mean, it was because I was willing to do all the crap, so to speak, consistently, so I could do the greatness after. Greatness doesn't come first, crap comes first, challenges come first. But you got to get through the molasses, through the mud, through the dirt to get to the greatness. So, I mean, the Dead Sea is dead, it keeps you afloat, and it's dead. I'd rather go swimming in something that allows me to go under, come back up. That's life. Under, come back up. Under, come back up. Because, see, if you're always on top, you're like the Dead Sea. You're just floating. Big deal. Polly, you're up. Let's go.
Thank you.
The crap comes first. I like it. Help me.
Yeah, it's really professional, isn't it?
Expand. Good morning, Dana. Thank you so much for doing these calls. Expand a little bit more for me on faith versus belief.
I'm glad that you brought that up because in my book I talk about the fire walk and how you feel those hot coals. I mean, it's a kind of a cool or cold night. It's just kind of wet. You can feel that heat rising. And as you're going up there, the gentleman goes, "You're ready, go." Yet 2 people before me, he pulls the lady aside and says, "You're not ready, go over here." And it's kind of like the board breaking. We can tell in their eyes if they're ready or not. Yet I was going, cool moss, I believe, right? And then I heard that, "Get over there, you're not ready." And instantly, I can't even begin to tell you all the things that started happening in my body. The fear started moving in. I had to get the belief that I would be okay to expand upon my faith that I would be okay. Because, see, when we have belief, and belief is about who we're being, it's a state of being. Faith is more than a thought. A belief is a thought, and faith is more than a thought. It's a deep conviction, it's something that we have. So, to me, a belief is who we're being, a faith is something that we have. I'm so convicted to my faith that I'll walk through fire for it, right? Does that help, or do I need to go a little bit further?
No, that's good. That's good. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Good, good.
Hey, Diana, going back to faith, is faith something that you don't question?
Yes, faith is a trust that you have that no matter what somebody says, you just know it's true. A belief is a foundation. I believe this, and that's the foundation that faith is built upon in my world, right? So faith is more of a trust. A belief can go one way or the other. Faith is just steady. Faith is consistent. Beliefs can be what was the other word that you guys told me? Faith can be frequent, or beliefs can be frequent. Faith is consistent.
And I think sometimes
Thank
that's a
you.
question because with, you can have faith, but being honest enough to confess whether it's your doubts or fears or like, you say you can't control your first thought, you control your second thought, and then feeling guilty about the first thought. Like it becomes this whole conundrum because it's like for example, if I pray, right, like I understand God already knows, but even confessing the truth, like, no, I'm scared right now or I'm fearful right now, but feeling like that language is then shaping my beliefs. And so it just kind of really becomes like this mind bender on honesty, faith, and vulnerability.
And I love what you just said. Here's something that may help. All of us have a story of our life. And in every story, there's a victim, a villain, and a hero. So think about which part we're playing. When we have a limiting belief, we're actually playing the victim role of our life. And when we act on that, like, ooh, I can't do that, now we're playing the villain in our life story. Are you guys getting this? Because a victim is, oh, I can't do that. No, don't ask me to do that. A villain says, absolutely, you can't do that. Don't ever try to do that. But the hero says, I'm going to feel the fear and do it anyway. So which one do you choose to be? And at every crossroad, we need to decide victim, villain, or hero. And no matter what people have taught you, and this is something that has helped me in the past, is that a belief is a choice. A belief is a choice, and a belief is a very powerful narrator to the story of your life. Okay, Priyanka, you're up from Atlanta.
Thank you, Diana. Thank you for the opportunity. So regarding for the faith and belief, like faith is you are truly devoted to that thing, like God. You don't have any single doubt. You don't have a second thing to think about God. It's a faith, and belief is on yourself. How much you believe in yourself that you can live in this business. How you believe in yourself when you go on a listing appointment that you get that listing. And as you mentioned last call, you never leave any appointment without getting the listing. So that much of the limiting belief system you have in yourself that I am going to that appointment, I have to sign that listing on that day.
Yeah, you've got to have that strong belief. Yet, here's the thing. You can't just believe. You got to be prepared. I mean, you can believe you can go in and take it and work to strong arm people, and that doesn't work. So the belief with preparation of the right preparation come together. And that's what we're doing with Sales Mastery, giving the right preparation. Sometimes beliefs are so bad. Like, hey, as a child, I believed I could be Wonder Woman. I loved Wonder Woman. And that was my hero that I was going after, right? I loved her lasso of truth. I loved how she wanted to help everybody. And so I got up on the roof and I had tied the rope to a tree down below, and I took the rope up with me, got on the roof, tied the rope around the chimney, and I was going to slide down the rope, right? Because those are things that like Wonder Woman would do, and she would come to the rescue, right? Well, my mother caught me just before I jumped off that roof. See, she knew a little bit more than me because she knew that if I jumped off that roof, gravity was going to outdo the belief that I thought about me being Wonder Woman. Thank goodness she was smart enough. Yet a lot of times people just go forward with their belief. I can do anything. I don't need anybody to show me how to do it. If my mother wouldn't harm myself. That's why I think having the right guides, the right coaches, the right mentors, all of that really does matter. I mean, to me, finding those right mentors, and I mean, Susan Scott from Fierce Conversations was one of my coaches. Don Yeager, who's written 13 New York Times bestsellers, one of my coaches. Matt Townsend, who's the guru of relationships, one of my mentors. John Maxwell, who's been my mentor, and at first he coached me, for 29 years for leadership. All these people I bring to people next year, actually. I'm bringing them so they can learn from them as I learn from them. Yet, who are your mentors? Who are you listening to? What have they done? Because a lot of people just tell you what other mentors have taught them. Yet, have they taken that and put it into action and actually have done something with that? See, we're entitled to our own belief. Yet we are not entitled to our own facts. And the fact is, we all need training, we all need mentoring, we all need coaching of some type. And for those of you, I couldn't believe last week when I said Tony and I were going to start coaching again, how many people have already reached out. Thank you so much. It literally made us feel like, wow, we are still needed, and we're out there to help people. So, CD, I don't know if your hand was raised or you were clapping. I wasn't sure you were clapping. Okay, because I know it's 9 o'clock, and I have a deep respect for your investment of time, and I don't take that lightly. I could stay on for hours because I love helping people move through, especially their limiting beliefs. And I want you to know that your two prominent sources of your belief are your upbringing and your experiences. This is why I brought Recharge to Keller Williams. I wanted to give people experiences. That's why I'm doing the mentorship program now, to bring people experiences, to overcome a lot of those things from their upbringing. Because I've met a lot of folks through consulting them, through coaching them, and those two are different, and through mentoring them, which is different again. So, love to help you. Pick up the more and that limiting belief section, the chapter. It's one entire chapter on limiting beliefs, and it says, it's what you choose to believe that makes you the person you are. That came from Karen Marie Moning. With that, thank you so much. I look forward to next Tuesday and all that we have. I do have a question for you, though. On August 18th, that is a Tuesday, how many of you will be at Mega Camp to where you will not be able to be on this call? The reason I'm asking is I'd love to still have the call. It's at 8:30, yet if you're there, you may not be able to participate. I get it. So put in the chat if can't make it. I just want to be respectful of everyone, yet if there's people that are going to show up, we'll do something there and maybe have some kind of a training that you can watch later. Yeah, lots of them are in Mega Camp. That's what I thought. And I'm so excited that you're going there to learn, and tell them about Tuesday Q&A. If anything, let's build this community because I believe you can help us. We're asking for your help, just like you ask for referrals. It is the blood of every business. It's what the heartbeat keeps going. Thank you so much. Appreciate each and every one of you. Love you. Chase, thanks for starting us out by taking what we were looking at and just changing the way we look at it, okay? Be sure and call somebody and pour into them. And if you don't call them, find somebody even in a restaurant, maybe the server, and tell them how great they are. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, everyone. And as a reminder, if you're not following Diana on social media, these recordings are posted on social media now because we are live streaming. They will be posted after. So for those of you who will be at Mega Camp, be sure to check those out. You can catch that recording on any of her social medias. Just look for Diana Kokoska anywhere you enjoy social media, and she will be there.
Thank you so much for telling us that, Nicole.
What is going on? Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Yes, I did just start streaming. And as I get my bearings around streaming and just hanging out on YouTube a little bit more, I wanted to bring you guys into one of the coaching sessions, and where today we were talking about limiting beliefs, and it really turned into an affirmation session for me. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for everyone that just shared their words and encouragement and affirmation. And I wrote a few things down, and I desire to share them with you because if it gives me strength, it will likely give you strength. So these were the affirmations that I wrote down. I am capable. I can do this. I am a great coach. I thrive. I am successful. I can overcome all things. I am equipped. I always make progress. I finish all I start. I am consistent. I am powerful beyond measure. I overcome every obstacle. I grab opportunity daily. I am a magnet for excellence. I can pivot, adapt, thrive. I am a magnet for excellence. I am wise. I am a great businesswoman. I am aspiring. I deserve it. Now, when I share those things with you, what do you feel? I know for me, reading off of this list, and I wrote it down, and I encourage you that even when we have technology, we have note takers, we have screenshots, write it down. Number one, because when your brain sees what you write, it does something neurologically, right? It starts to shift the wiring in your brain. Diana said that our beliefs are shaped by our upbringing and our experiences. And many of us can't control our upbringing, yet we can control our experiences. We can control the conversations that we allow ourselves to be a part of. We can control the environments that we put ourselves in. And one thing I will do for sure is find an environment that mirrors the life I desire. And a lot of that has to do with thinking and asking questions and being able to get curious and be vulnerable. And my question for you is, do you have that space? Whether in real life or online, do you have a space that allows you to think up and grow into that environment? Or are you the big fish in a small pond? It's great for sometimes I think really just our ego to be a part of an environment where we can be the wise one, be the leader, and be the teacher. And yet there's so much value in being the villager. I talk about that often, especially as it relates to building community. Something that I noticed maybe last summer, somewhere around that time, is there were so many people that were looking to build community, and they would say, I can't find community, so I'm going to start one of my own. And I think that's excellent. I think that if you are a community builder, you owe it to yourself to create that space. And yet for me, I knew that what I was looking for already existed. And so before I started creating spaces, when I desired to get deeper into spaces, one of the things that I did was, well, who is already out here doing it? So that way I don't have to recreate the wheel. Who can I go and support? How can I be a villager to this space? Not looking to be the leader or the chief or the person that gets all and fills all the questions. No, how can I be a supporter? And it totally changed the experiences that I was having in the community. It started to give me an opportunity to strengthen the relationships that I was having in the community. Many of you guys are great hosts. Many of you guys love to curate events. And yet you and I both know that when you're the curator of an event, oftentimes you miss out on it. Not because you're not there or present, yet because if you're a bit like me, your mind is thinking about the things that need to be done. Is everyone okay? Do we have enough drinks? Is the food? Is the napkins? Is all of these things in place? Sometimes as a villager, you simply get to be a part of that environment. And so today we were talking about limiting beliefs, and we were talking about faith. And faith is it's more than a thought, right? It's a deep conviction. A conviction is a strong belief. And so when you say that you have faith in an outcome, you have a faith in these affirmations, you have faith in what it is that you're looking to do, replace that with a strong belief. Do you have a strong belief about that? Do you have a deep conviction about that? And if so, then why do we worry? If we have truly the faith that we claim, then why do we worry? Because like the affirmation says, I overcome every obstacle and I grab opportunity daily. I started the call believing that I had missed out on my windows. That as a 40-year-old woman, that my best years were behind me. And I believe that's not true. I believe that I'm just getting started, and yet we all have moments. And too often on social media, whether it's YouTube or Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or Substack or any of these platforms, we present ourselves as though we have it figured out. And one of the reasons why I kind of was like, you know what, I'm just going to click live and I'm going to go for it. Maybe I do it right. Maybe I do it wrong. Maybe I keep it up. Maybe I take it down. Is because it's leaning into starting something and allowing myself to see where it goes. And failing forward and failing fast and failing often. Do you give yourself permission to do that? You guys, we have an opportunity to truly be whatever it is that we desire to be. And the first thing that is so important is first getting clarity on what does that look like. And that's why those environments and conversations are so much. That's why those experiences are so much. Because you may believe one thing is possible for your life, and then you introduce yourself to someone and they completely change the trajectory of what you thought would be true. I remember I was in a class and I was with a good friend. He's a good friend now, yet at the time we were still kind of just, feeling each other out, getting to know each other. We did an exercise where we wrote down to our future selves the things that we wanted to accomplish, the businesses that we desired to own. And I had written down some goals in regards to, my production and real estate and things like that. And we shared with each other what it was that we had talked about. And I remember listening to the things that he had written down, and I was blown away. I hadn't even thought, talking about ownership and title companies, insurance companies, just things beyond what I could have imagined. And that was just because I had not been exposed to even thinking that big. Now, I could have done one of two things, right? I could have, felt like a victim. Or I could have felt like a hero and said, man, that's a great idea. How can I learn to be more than that? Diana shared that we have a few options when it comes to the story of our life. We can be the victim, the villain, or the hero. And the victim is the one that lives in the limiting beliefs. What's not possible, why something's not possible, blame, who's against us, this is that, limiting beliefs. Or we can be the villain in our own lives, in the stories that we tell ourselves, and why we can't do something, and why this isn't possible, and why this is too late. That negative echo in the back of your brain chambers, right? That whisper every time that you get close to starting. They say, nah, you tried that before, remember? That's the villain. And then, of course, there's the hero in us. There's the hero that feels the fear and does it anyway. That's me on this live. It's feeling the fear and saying, you know what? I am not quite sure where this live is going to take us. And I get so grateful when you guys hit subscribe and when you drop comments in the chat and when you ask questions. Because, see, Norman asked the question, did you just start streaming? And the answer is yes. How many of us ever really see people on their first week of streaming, on their first few days of streaming? Now, I don't have fancy equipment and 3-angle cameras. I'm just here. I press the button. I decide to hop on and talk to you guys and chop it up and just see where this conversation goes. And so my question for you, and I will leave you with this, is where will you be the hero in your own life? Where will you face the fear and do it anyway? Because we all get to decide. We get to wake up every day to make a new decision. I shared a video earlier about decision making. And I remember growing up, I just used to be terrified of making decisions because I was afraid of not only the consequence of possibly making the wrong decision, yet even the responsibility of making the right one. And so it created so many delays in my life, unnecessary delays in my life, opportunities where I could have moved forward, yet because I was stuck on decision making, analysis paralysis, it was almost as though I was frozen in time. And I learned that the way you get better at making decisions is by simply making the decision. Because you're not banking on the decision, you're banking on knowing that you have survived 100% of the decisions and experiences that have happened to you this far. So why not bet on you? Why not bet on this is what I know I desire for my life, even if it's not perfect? My mentor says you're never going to choose something so wrong that it completely thwarts the plans that God has for you. You are not that powerful. And so why not be courageous? And like I said, why not know that you are capable and that you can do this, that you are successful, that you overcome all things, that you are equipped, that you always make progress, that you finish what you start, that you're consistent, and that you are powerful beyond measure, that you grab opportunities daily. Maybe this opportunity is, like I said, hit subscribe. Maybe this opportunity is to save a clip of this. Or maybe this opportunity is to grab a pen and write down a few affirmations on your own. Call somebody that you know and just pour into their cup today. I don't know what your opportunity is, but you grab it daily. What does that do to just your receptors even? How do you navigate the world? How do you navigate what you pay attention to and what you feed your gaze? You know, maybe you are at home watching this now. It's early in the morning. Maybe you're still in bed. Maybe you're just getting the strength to turn on something different. How can you compound on that 1%? I always say 1% better every day. And so I'm going to leave you with this. When we talk about beliefs and we talk about um, uh, faith, just know that a belief is a choice. It is a powerful narrator to the story in your life, and you get to decide the beliefs that you are going to hold true. You can't control your first thought. You can't control your second. And when you're stuck, do you have a list of affirmations that you can go through? One of the things that I do is I record them. I make voice notes. I put them as headphones and I listen to them when I'm going out and walking. And the reason I do that is because I know that the more that my brain hears it, the more I rewire those neurons that shape the way that I show up in this world. So how will you show up today? You guys, I'm Chase Sloan, and I come on lives every now and then. Haven't quite figured out the schedule, and yet I absolutely talk about Houston real estate, building wealth, and creating cash flow. That is what I do, and you can support me by hitting subscribe and joining the conversation. Like I said, coming in the comments, letting me know what you guys are working on. I would love to get to know you guys, letting me know where you're calling from. And I'll talk to you soon. Have a great day, you guys. Bye.